Hi, taking off the glasses. Recent bowl, I hail Carib-Sport. Well, I did a video regarding the Curacao Trinidad match. Decided it was too long and decided to redo it, make it a little shorter, a little sweeter. As you know, Trinidad and Tobago hosted Curacao, our first World Cup qualifier in our group, Group B, and it was a bittersweet experience. Much better performance that we saw in the Gold Cup. We were playing against a quality side with players from Holland, players in the Danish league, players in the Greek league, and so on. And overall, it was a good performance by TNT. Uh, Curacao Dutchmen had the edge in the first half, although Trinidad had one or two chances, but we thoroughly dominated the second half, much improved second half. Good overall defensive work, good job at the midfield and forward line taking pressure off the defense. Um, Bittersweet why we didn't lose, but we didn't get the 3 points. We dominated the second half, we didn't get the 3 points. So as I said, first half, Curacao more or less outplayed us. The stats say we got one shot, they got four. Um, our one good shot was a free kick off the left side, nice header by Spicer. Really made the keeper work. Um, but the second half completely different. Stats say Toronto we go 14, Curacao 1. I'm pretty sure Curacao got two decent shots. No, well, two shots at the end, but both were wide. But it was very dangerous plays walking into the box, so we didn't know they were going to shoot high or wide. The second one just missing the far left post. Twice the Dutchman had to clear balls off the line. You know, so it was a much improved second half. Firstly, let me apologize to Noah Powder. Noah is one of the players I believe in the past has good enough to make the TNT team, but never really stood out. And I thought we could do better. Good youth, but maybe we could do better on the senior level, and maybe because it was the best we had. But he had a great game today. He plays for Westchester, South Carolina, in the second tier of the American League. Noah, good work for you. Most of the plays were coming down on Noah's side, so you had some work for him, cut out for him. He had a guy called Sambo who plays with Spartak Rotterdam, making his debut. He had a guy called also Margarita, who was giving us problems. Defense in general did well. Kobi Henry, well, what can you say? He's about, I believe, that 21, 22 years old. He is a central defender, tall and strong. For those of you who don't know Kobe Henry, he played for USA at under 17, under 20 level, trained with the American senior team in 2021 for a match against Bosnia Herzegovina, but was not selected. His grandfather is, I believe, you'll forgive me for getting the name wrong. I believe it's Ken Henry, who was a stalwart with the Trinidad team as either a fitness instructor or kit guy. They say his father was a semi-pro, maybe semi-pro by American standards. If anybody knows anything about his father, please put it in the notes below. I'd love to know. Couldn't find anything. Kobe had a great match. Kobe was playing, I believe it was second tier. Yes, second tier in, no, I lied to you, boy. Kobe was playing third tier in, what you call that place? The USL. Okay, I lied to you again. I can't remember now. Second or third tier, tired. But he was sold to a second division French team by the name of Stade de Reims. Now, Stade de Reims purchased him for about 700,000 US dollars, which was a record for that particular league. Okay, yeah, second tier, and Noah Powder is third tier. So there he goes to Stade de Reims. Stade de Reims, they put him on the second 11, which is fourth tier in France. They treated him, not treated him, but loaned him out to a third tier team in France, and now he is playing with Real Salt Lake. He's been with them for since the beginning of this year. He's mainly playing for their second 11, but better than the TTPFL. He's big, he's strong. You know, he's got pedigree, ex-American under 17 and under 20 player. So I knew he would add something to the team. I was a little worried about his debut being an important World Cup qualifier. No problems, he handled himself. So Kobe Henry, welcome to Trinidad and Tobago. Wishing you great things. Okay, not too many players these days from Trinidad Trinidad qualified get purchased for 700,000. Levi being a glaring exception. Levi Garcia, by his standards, had a poor game today. Levi has had so many games. I guess he's entitled to have an off day. He didn't seem to finish well. He was fumbling with the ball. He was losing the ball. He was being hustled off the ball. He had one or two good shots. But I guess Levi at 90-95% is better than a lot of other players at 105 from Trinidad. Ramprasad, Ramprasad is a good solid player. He one of those players that gets called up. He's never overwhelmed. You know, he's but he doesn't really shine. He doesn't really shine. He's a star with Halifax, a legend, but I believe I would love to see somebody with a bit more creation and better distribution in the midfield. I think he's there to keep us solid and really, quite frankly, better than anything we've got right now in terms of options available. Um, I thought the subs took a bit long to happen. Um, but we were really pounding them in the second half, and perhaps this is why Dwight chose to do so. I thought maybe Overy coming on because we weren't scoring, we just were not scoring. We were crossing balls in, the defenders were lost, but nobody was at the end. We were getting shots at goal. We were getting cleared off the line. We were making dangerous plays into the box. People would fall down or trip or whatever, and we just it looked like we would score, but we didn't. But the Dutchman hardly ever had a look see at the Trinidad goal in the second half, which is a good thing. Um, when they did make some subs, I did like the the inclusion of this big strong fella Telfa. Telfa, because working the way inside it wasn't happening, but Telfa is strong. He could take shots from the outside, and I like that idea. As I said, I wanted Overy because I was hoping he could work his way, work a little bit of magic on the right side, and add some dimension to the Trinidad and Tobago team. But he was never brought on, and that brings me to my next point. I have here in my notes. We need to have some flair in the middle. We need to have a sort of a maestro. Forget Latapi, but somebody like a Duarica, Terry St. Louis, a Trent Noel, a guy who can distribute from anywhere and pinpoint passes, a guy who can bamboozle the defense a bit, make them think twice, make them commit fouls, make them draw free kicks, and so on. And then I put here, we need a maestro in anywhere up front. Yes, we have Levi, but we need somebody else like in the olden days of a Leon St. Louis, a Clint Marcel. If you remember Cornell Glenn coming off the bench, nobody wanted to touch him. Carlos Edwards, when Carlos Edwards got a ball, defenders put their hands behind their back, they backtracked, and they never touched him. They were scared to death. Those are the kind of guys who you want, who will bamboozle defense, draw fouls, take pressure off your defense. And anyway, we need to find that with the grandfather rule kicking in at some point. I'm hoping it can happen. Hoping it'll happen this month, and maybe there's somebody in the wings. I don't know. Um, Regarding second place, I will make a second video for this, but um, I thought everybody in second place would go to a playoff match. No, it is of the three second place teams, only two. It says on Wikipedia and FIFA site, the team with the higher FIFA ranking. People are telling me it's the team with more points. Well, if you have the same amount of points and same amount of goal difference, how does that work? But I'm telling you, on Wikipedia and FIFA website, it says who has the higher FIFA rankings. This has me worried because most of the contenders with the second spot in Group A and Group C have a higher ranking than us. But that's another video because this will take too long. And lastly, good crowd. I estimated maybe 18,000 people. We were told by media reports about little more than 23,000 showed up for the last game. Bottom line is, you got around 20,000 for the last game, and you got around 18,000 for this game. By my math, that tells me around 2.5 million or more per game at the gate. I know you got expenses, but it looks to me like the TTFA is making a little money these days. All right, you're getting money at the gate, you're getting sponsors. I'd like to know how this money is being allocated, how it's being spent, what's being done with the profits. Why? Because all we know is that people get money, don't get money, and bam, they're in debt, they're in debt, they're in debt, they're in debt. I don't want that embarrassing situation where we're in a court of law, a judge has to say um, the books of the TTFA, what do you call this thing? Science fiction, and nothing is ever done about it. They could tell us, well, this is a new admin. What if it's a new admin have a new way of doing things? This is called the TTFA. I don't care if you're autonomous. This is not FIFA football. This is Trinidad and Tobago football, and you are answerable and obligated to be answerable to us, the taxpayers and fans of Trinidad and Tobago football, because that's what you are, TTFA. Autonomous does not give you the right not to be transparent. I hope all you understand this. I don't want to see this nonsense where we 10, 20, $50 million, $100 million in debt. You can't run football like that, you know. Lord knows how many millions were sold in merchandising for Soccer Warriors in '06. Where that money gone? Hmm? Where did that money go? All right. So when we sell out stadiums and so on, we like to know what money was made, what profit was made, and so we have an idea going forward. Because believe it or not, that kind of transparency encourages investors and does not frustrate people. All right, I'll make my point. It was a good game. Well, the next game is against Jamaica in a few days' time. It's at the office. Not impossible to get a point in Jamaica. We can have to go in there with some bad mind. Um, Lucky Curacao, their next three games are all at home. They will host Bermuda on Tuesday, and then in October it will be, I believe, it's Jamaica followed by Trinidad and Tobago. We, on the other hand, our next three games is Jamaica on Tuesday. We will then in October host Bermuda and then on to Curacao. It is not impossible to get a point in Jamaica and Curacao, and we should win against Bermuda, and we're back in the race. If you can't win at home, you can't go to the World Cup. Good for the Dutchmen, they got a point. We didn't lose, but we need to do better. Wishing us all the best in Kingston, Jamaica. God bless Dwight York. God bless the Soca Warriors. God bless this beautiful, beautiful thing here. Start making some damn money and tell us what's going on with it. God bless this handsome fellow on the camera. Take care.